For some time now, we have been talking about digestive system. So in this series, we're going to talk about the hormones in human digestive system. That is the hormones that are useful or the hormones that participate in the process of digestion in the digestive system with particular reference to human beings. Now, what do we mean by hormones? When we talk about hormones, hormones are chemical substances. They are chemical substances in the body. We say the substances, but we say that they're chemical substances because they're made up of chemicals. They're made up of elements that are combined together, that are bound together by different bonds, maybe covalent bonds or some other type of bonds, and they are produced by glands that are referred to as endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless, that is, they have no duct. Duct in our science is referred to as passage. In science, it is referred to as duct. So when you have a gland in the body, where the gland secretes a particular substance, the passage where the gland will pass, where the secretion will pass from the gland to the particular place where it's going to function is what we refer to as duct. But these endocrine glands, they don't have any duct. So we refer to them as a ductless glands. And the hormones that they secrete, once they are secreted, they just flow directly into the blood. And that's why we say that the hormones are carried by blood to tissues and organs of the body where their effect will be felt. That is where they will be useful. That is in the part of the body where they will be useful. They actually control body processes. Hormones control body processes and functions. They control what goes on in the body and how things should be able or how things should go on. Then now let's look at hormones that are involved in digestion process. Well, in digestion process. Now we're going to look at few of the hormones that are useful or that are being secreted and participate or functions in the process of digestion. The first one we're going to look at here is insulin. Insulin is actually an hormone that is secreted by um, a gland that is referred to as a gland that is a pancreas, and that part of the pancreas where it is secreted is referred to as a islet of Langerhans. And what does it do? The main function of insulin is actually to lower the sugar level in the blood. That is, it absorbs or it helps in the absorption of sugar, that is carbohydrates that are present in the blood. It helps such sugar to be absorbed by the cells and the tissues of the body. So invariably, it means that if this hormone is not working, if anything is wrong with this hormone and it's not working well, it means that there's not going to be any hormone that's going to lower the sugar content in the blood. And so the sugar content in the blood will be higher. Now, the next hormone here is referred to as glucagon. Glucagon is produced by the alpha cells of islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. The glucagon, the function is opposite to that of insulin. Why insulin lowers the quantity of sugar in the blood, what glucagon does is that it increases the sugar level in the blood. And this is how it does it. When we have eaten, after the digestion has taken place, all the digestive substances that are in absorbable form will be absorbed into the body. And so the remaining will be stored. For example, the remaining sugar, glucose in the body, that is after our body has taken enough, will now be stored in the body in form of glycogen. And so when the body is short of sugar, when the body needs sugar, when the body needs energy, and there is not enough within the body, it will now help, glucagon will now help to convert the stored glycogen back into glucose because the body cannot absorb the glycogen. It has to be converted back to glucose. So this is what glucagon does. So when the blood in the body is short of glucose, so glucagon will now convert the parts of the glycogen to glucose, and that is how it helps to increase the blood sugar. So the sugar level in the blood will increase, and the body will be able to make use of this blood sugar, sugar provides energy. So that is how glucagon carries out its function. The next hormone is gastrin. Gastrin secretes what we mean by G cells. G cells is located within the gastric glands in the stomach. G cells stimulates gastric acid. What's this gastric acid? That is hydrochloric acid that is within the walls of the gastric acid or gastric gland is on the wall of the stomach. So it stimulates the secretion of gastric acid and also pepsin, which is the hormone, which is the enzyme that acts on protein within the stomach. Then we have the next hormone, which is referred to as secretin. Secretin is actually being secreted or produced by S cells in the mucosal layer of the duodenum. The wall of the duodenum, in fact, the wall of the digestive system down, they are made up of different layers. So at the duodenum, the wall of the duodenum that is referred to as the layer that is referred to as mucosal layer, the S cells that are present there secrete what is referred to as a secretin, and this helps in the stimulation of pancreas to release bicarbonate-rich fluid. So what this secretin does is that in the duodenum, it helps, it stimulates, that is, it facilitates pancreas to release enzymes that will be useful within the digestive system, especially bicarbonate-rich fluid. Then we have another hormone that is referred to as cholecystokine, CCK. Cholecystokine is produced by enteroendocrine 1 cells of the small intestine, that is the duodenum and the jejunum. That is where this hormone is being produced. And the main function is that it stimulates the contraction of the gallbladder for the release of bile. Bile is being produced by the liver but being stored in the gallbladder. So when it is time for the gallbladder to release the bile, so that it's going to flow into in order to flow into the digestive system. So it is CCK that stimulates, that is, it will facilitate the contraction of the gallbladder so that gallbladder will be able to contract and release the bile to flow then into the digestive system. Then another hormone that we have in the digestive system is ghrelin. Ghrelin is being secreted by PD-1 cells that are present in the fundus of the stomach. The main function of this is it stimulates appetite. Most times you discover that somebody will say, I don't have appetite to eat this, I don't have appetite for that. It's because that hormone is not there. For us to have appetite to eat, it is the activity of the hormone that is referred to as ghrelin and is being secreted by the fundus cells in the stomach. Then we have another hormone that is referred to as a somatostatin. Yeah, somatostatin. Yeah, somatostatin, which is produced by delta cells in the islets of Langerhans of the pancreas. So it is somatostatin is also produced by the delta cells in the islets of Langerhans. Then we have motilin that is also secreted by the enteroendocrine cells, that is the MO cells that are located in the small intestine. All these, the two, they actually facilitate the process of digestion by the enzymes that are present in the uh, duodenum. They facilitate their action, that is their enzymatic action, that is their breaking down purpose of digestion. They facilitate the actions. Now, the digestive enzymes are actually present in the body naturally, but we have some foods that are present in the body that contains this. But when we look at digestion generally, whether the we eat the foods that contain the digestive enzymes that will boost it, or even if it is the normal digestive enzymes that are present in the body, digestion generally the digestion of foods in human beings generally takes between 24 to 72 hours. And this depends, or this is being influenced by certain factors. The food type, that is the type of food that one eats, the lifestyle, and the individual differences. Let's look at the food type. First, if it is fruits and vegetables within 1 to 2 hours, they they are digested. If it is lean protein, within 3 to 4 hours, digestion must have been completed. Then for 40 foods, that is food that has fat, you know, like red meat, it takes up to like 6 hours. Then for high fiber, high fat, high protein, takes more time to digest. So if we now eat foods like this, combine most of the foods we eat are combined together, you know, different classes of food combined together. If you have high fiber, taken together with high fat or maybe protein, it's going to be before each of them finish breaking down and digestion take place, it will be running to hours. Then another thing that influence the process of digestion is a lifestyle. When we talk about lifestyle, we're talking about age, we're talking about gender, we're talking about physical activities. So even the physical activities like exercises, esteem, increase or we say facilitate the process of digestion. Anyone that is not involved in physical activities, for example, if somebody is used to sitting down for a very long time, it may slow down the rate of digestion in the body of such individual. Then individual differences. Some people naturally they have a fast digestion. That is naturally within their body, the digestion of food takes place very fast in their body. So these are